Good afternoon and welcome to Love Your Business TV. I am Adrian Peck. I am the founder and owner of Better Never Stops. We deliver business advice and coaching programs to entrepreneurs and business owners who run or want to run £1 million plus turnover businesses. I am also the author of How to Fall Back in Love with Your Business, the Entrepreneur's Guide to Rediscovering Your Mojo and Enjoying Every Day by Living Your Dream. So every week I broadcast live to the world, actually, in fact, these days, to a live stream on YouTube and Facebook, really there to help and inspire the business owners, you guys, entrepreneurs, to stay in love with it, or fall back in love with your business, or stay in love with your businesses. I believe that when you're running your own business, it's all about having fun. And if you're not having fun in your business, then why are you doing it? And you really need some help to put that right. So I present every single week various different topics we cover to really, again, help you stay in love with your business or fall back in love with your business and really get the most out of it. When you're in those zones, you really can conquer the world. And that's certainly what I'm here to do. I do apologize, we're a little bit late today. We had a few technical hits. My PC was running really, really slowly, and I'd done that classic thing of then trying to restart it. And of course, then it done a Windows update, and it's been locked me out for the last 20 minutes. So it's wonderful to be here today with you. If you want to reach out to me, we're live on Facebook, YouTube. You can also catch up on the various podcasts. We turn this into a podcast, and it goes out on Spotify and on Apple as well, and Google Podcasts. And you can also find us on loveyourbusiness.tv. That takes you through to our Better Never Stops website, where you can catch up on all the previous shows as well. If you want to reach out to me, please feel free to reach out. It's adrian.peck@peckuk.com. And also, if you've got any comments or questions you want to today, just put them into the comments bar, and I'll try and answer them as we go along, or certainly at the end. So this week, I want to move on, if I can get this to work, and talk to you about lead generation. Let's just close that down a little bit. So I want to talk about lead generation and a big focus on lead generation and sales. Over the last couple of weeks, I have put out a survey to business owners that has gone out to, I don't know, about at least 5 to 10,000 businesses now. And we've had quite a strong response on that. And the overwhelming topic that was the big challenge at the moment, so that the kind of the survey asked was, what was your biggest challenge at the moment for your business? The big challenge that came back was about sales, lead generation and sales conversion was the big challenge. So what I want to do over the next at least probably 4 weeks really is to really focus in on that and give you some hopefully some really good content around what it is you can do first around generating leads, and then importantly selling them as well. So this week I want to concentrate on lead generation channels. We are going to cover, if I can get this work, it doesn't seem to want to work today. We're going to cover kind of what are channels, and just I want to kind of get away from some of the jargon, if you like. So when we're talking about channels, what do I mean? What are the common mistakes that are made? And then I'm going to lead you with 3 really, really important actions that you can take right now to generate leads and to really have an immediate impact on your business. So that's what we're going to cover. Next week, I'm really excited. We're going to have a guy called Mike Killen join us next week. Mike is an expert in sales conversion and sales process type stuff. And I'm really excited that he's going to come and join us next week. But let's crack on with this week. Let's cover and look at our lead generation channels. So first of all, what do we mean by a channel? And kind of let's demystify some of that jargon, if you like. So a channel really is the way that you go and you talk and you try and get leads into your business. So what we're talking about, we're talking about websites, we're talking about social media, we're talking about shows and exhibitions you might do. We're talking about email campaigns, direct email campaigns, printed advertising, telesales. direct marketing, press releases and PR, that kind of stuff. So these are channels. These are the channels that you choose to go and find your target market. And that's kind of very much what they are. This is what we mean about by a channel. And I again apologize if that's kind of teaching you how to suck eggs, but it's important that I don't want to leave you there kind of thinking, what the hell is he on about? I haven't even got the first step, let alone look at the other ones. So what we're going to do now is look at what are the common mistakes that I see with businesses and the way they try to go to market and why they try to get leads and generate leads. So the first mistake, and really a massive mistake that I see business owners make or business make, is around what I call target channel match. And that's making sure that first of all, that you have the right target market that's on the right channel, and you're matching that with the right message as well. And I'm going to come on to the types of message in a moment, but I'll talk about the match of that message as well. And really, I want to think about the analogy I always use, and I've used it in my book. There's a whole channel on this, There's a whole chapter on this in my book. I wanted you to think about channels, and my analogy is always about fishing. I think fishing is a great analogy when you talk about target markets and when you talk about your customers. And clearly, having the right channel and the right match. If you want to go fishing for cod, for instance, you're not going to do that in a lake, are you? And pretty rarely you're going to find cod swimming around a river. And I'm sure people will prove me wrong, but certainly not in the rivers of the UK. And you're going to find them in the sea. And that's predominantly where you're going to do. And it's the same for if you take a freshwater fish, you're not going to find them in the sea as well. So the important part is about matching your target market they're in the right channel. So what are your fish that are in the right channel, and you need to match that together. Otherwise, your lead generation is not going to work. It's not going to be effective. So that's the real kind of first really important bit, is matching your target, the channel to the place that you're actually then on, the channel that you're on. The big message here is stop selling to everyone. I see it time and time again that businesses are not quite sure about really what their target market is, and they try and throw out this really wide, we can sell to everybody. Well, you can't talk to everybody, and when you do, your message just gets really diluted. So the first point and part of that is really making sure that you stop selling to everybody and you get your niche right. You get your target markets absolutely nailed. There's a whole piece of this in my book that I do in chapter 6, but I'm also going to put it onto my website. I'm going to put it on my website after this. I've already written the article. It's called Stop Selling to Everybody, and you'll find it on my Better Never Stops website. If you go on the tools, and you'll find it in there under the separate section in there as well. But I'll put a link to it at the end of this as well, so you've got the links directly to it. So the second common mistake I see is not using enough channels. And now you need to be using at least 4 to 6 channels constantly. Now, a great part of this kind of common mistake I see is that when businesses get busy, they kind of slow down or turn off some of their marketing. So they get busy, and then they start getting quiet because their marketer turn their marketing off. So then they go, oh, we better do some marketing now. So they turn their marketing back on, and then they get busy, and then they turn it off, and then they get busy. And what happens is you get this peak and troughs, this feast or famine of the leads that you're bringing in. What it means then is that every time that you try to get your marketing going, there's a huge amount of cost that goes into it. And you go, oh, well, did it really work properly before? I don't quite know. So therefore, you kind of you try to do this kind of feast and famine way. It really doesn't work. You need to keep your your lead generation constantly going all the way through, all the time. The other part of it is that marketing is not an exact science. It really isn't. And the more channels you're using, the more testing that you can do, and therefore the better and better you can get those messages, and also the call to actions that you're putting to them as well. You can't do that if you keep starting. The other thing about using more channels is that channels change. Sometimes eBay might be, e-marketing might be really hip and you've got a good cake up on that. Other times that's not working so well. Just recently on kind of Google pay-per-click, for instance, with one of my clients, we literally saw a dramatic drop over a 48-hour period in his pay-per-click. Now, Peter and the guys at UHE, they keep they're constantly doing pay-per-click advertising on Google and on things like Bing. And a 48-hour period, all of a sudden, their web volume, trebled in a 48-hour period. Exactly the same spend, but it trebled. And we've analysed the whole market, and the only thing that we can decide, or conclusion we come to, is that actually their competitors turned their pay-per-click advertising on. It's the only logical thing that we can go through, and therefore, obviously it's auction-based, and the less people there are on the auction, the price goes down. So for the same amount of spend, they got 3 times the amount of traffic. And guess what was really busy during the end of March, April, and certainly into May is web sales. Their web sales went absolutely through the roof. Last year, they'd done something like 300 orders for the same period. I think it's for May. In May, they've done 800 orders. So from 3 to 800 orders, same amount of spend. That's why it's important to keep those channels going all the time and use all those channels. So the third common mistake that I see is about using the wrong type of message. So what do I mean? On each one of those channels, you need to have a different message. Instinctively or invariably, the customers that are on it are in a different mood depending on what channel they're on. So what do I mean by that? Clearly, if you're using social media, that person isn't on social media to buy your product. That's not their intention. When they jumped onto Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, they weren't necessarily there in any shape or form to buy your product. But all of a sudden, your product's popped up and you've said, buy me, buy me, buy me. And it's gone, well, no, that's not the mode I'm in. I'm not in a buying mode. And therefore, you need to change your message to match the mode that they're in and the platform that they're on. Equally, if they are on Google and they are searching for your product or service, clearly they're in the market to buy it. And therefore, your message and then the pages you take them to need to be different as well compared to what they would be on social media. So what you have to think about, what is your most wanted outcome when you're on those medias as well? So if you're going to take a customer from Facebook and you're going to start educating them through that process, you've got to think about the message you take and the outcome you're going to do. You are not going to sell to them within a couple of clicks. It just isn't going to happen unless your product is out of this world or is a very low risk product. And the higher and higher your product cost is, the longer and longer you need to build that relationship over. And that's the kind of thing you need to think about. So it's all about getting the right message on those platforms. So don't fall into the mistake of having the wrong type of message on those platforms you're doing as well. So we've covered really 3 very, very common mistakes that people make. So that is not having enough channels, having the wrong message, and not having that message that and the channel match right as well. So then what are the things that you can do? What are the actions you can take? So let me take you through. I've got 3 really important actions for you to take away from this. The first one is target market. And again, if you go on to betterneverstops.global, I'm going to put an article on there called Stop Selling to Everyone. And it's very much aimed at helping you get your target market right. If you don't get your target market right, you try and sell to everybody. And that's really not going to happen. Your message gets very diluted, it gets very confusing, and it's just not as powerful. Now, I know what you're thinking, and as much as that, if you try and limit down the target market you're trying to go for, you then won't have as many customers and as many leads. And I can promise you exactly the opposite will happen. And I want to think about the difference between a machine gun and a sniper and a rifle. A machine gun, you're spraying bullets all over the place, and how those bullets actually hit your target, versus a sniper and a rifle that are just shooting one bullet into one target at a time. And that's the difference. I say, if you go onto the Better Never Stops, and you'll see an article on the right on there called Stop Selling to Everyone. I'll put the links on the YouTube and the Facebook Live as well, so you can jump onto those. So that's the first action to take, is to make sure you've got your target market absolutely nailed. Once you've got your target market absolutely nailed, the second action on here becomes really easy. And the thing that you need to think about is about where to go and look for your customers and where to find them. Or sorry, it's where your customers go and look for your product or service, and where you can go and find your customers. And ideally, your target market, you need to be able to identify both. So let me just explain that a little bit more. So first of all, is where does your target market, where do they go and look for your product or service when they're in that buying mode? So where are they when they're in that buying mode? So, on here I've put, this is a form that I use. It's in my book. It's a very simple kind of checklist that you can go through, that where you can put your target market down on there. In fact, let's just make that a little bit bigger for you. So you can see, so you can look on here, you see you've got your lead generation channel, and you can put your target market in there. So where are they looking? So obviously, would they look on a web search? Would they go to a web directory? Would they go to a trade show to find your service or an exhibition? Is it something you can do on a joint venture? So would it pair up very much with a joint venture? Or is it around search engine optimization, which kind of, again, is about web stuff? So once you've got your target absolutely nailed, you can go through this form and go, actually, where is it my target market would look to go and find my services or products? The second one then, on here, I'll get this to work, is then where can you find those people? So again, when you've got your target market nailed down and honed, where is it that those people are, where you can therefore go and find them, and you can go and put your message in front of them. So again, you're thinking about things like social media. Is it sponsorship? Emails, text campaigns, postal. So with email, have you got a list, or can you generate a list of emails for your customers? Can you go to and buy postal information and therefore direct marketing? Do letter campaigns? Is it through advertising? Do you know where to go and find them to do advertising? Press releases, so what magazines, newspapers and stuff like that are looking at, where they go networking, seminars, telephone campaigns, that kind of stuff. So I'll give you a little bit of an example here in terms of sponsorship. One of the clients I work with, they do windows, doors, conservatories, that kind of stuff. They've got a trade division within their business. And when I got working with them, identified what they're trying to do is they do a lot of sponsorship in football, but they use their retail brand in football. And I actually said to them that what you need to do is flick that, and actually your football is more associated with trades. That's where your tradespeople are either going to watch football every week or actually they're taking part in it. So we've sponsored the local football team. We also sponsored all the local football leagues was sponsored by them as well. So immediately we know that target markets, and we've done the surveys through their trades. We knew that their trades are out playing or watching football the weekend. So we're putting their name in front of them all the time as well. So this gives you a little bit of, for instance, of how you can use it. And remember, you should be using 4 to 6 of these all of the time. You should be broadcasting out on these channels 4 to 6 all the time, every day. You should be out there doing marketing to them through those channels. So the last one I'm going to talk about then is about market channel message match. Market channel message match. Bit of a mouthful, but what do I mean? And it's about going back to understanding what channel that you're on and how you are then going to get that message right to then talk to them and eventually sell to them. So is it where they are searching for something? If they're searching for your product and therefore you know on there, then it's really you're in selling mode, and you can then get that message right about what it is you're selling and get them on the right pages when they are clicking on those links as well. But if you're in a social media type format, or where people are then more, they're not in that buying mode, they're more in that kind of the browsing mode, you then need to think about the education you can do to them to help them buy those products. So how is it you can take them from that social media platform to go, oh, did you know about this? And then educate them through those messages as well. So that's the difference with the education message versus the selling message. And that's really, really important. So make sure you get your market channel message match right. And you're getting them right in the right modes. So remember, I have a great motto in life is that only shit happens and everything else may need to make happen. So think about the 3 actions that I've given you today. Think about how you can go and apply them in your business. Jump on the website, onto betterneverstops.global, onto those free tools, and I will put those forms on there, and also the target market presentation as well. Or I'll give you the clip out of my book that you can go and download, and you can take on that. I will turn that into a presentation as well over the next 48 hours as well, so that will be on there. If you want a free copy of my book, because all the stuff I cover is covered in my free book, which you can't see at the moment, so there's no point me holding it up, but if I do that, so if you want a free copy of my book, just reach out to me, adrian.peck@peckuk.com, and I'll get a free book out to you in the post to you. So feel free to do that. And if you want, I've got a scorecard as well. It's a health check. There's Better Never Stops business health check. If you want to find out how to improve your business, and this health check looks across the whole of your business, if you go to peckuk.scoreapp.com, and you can do a health check on your business, you get a 20-page report with lots of help and advice in there about how you can improve each one of the sections as well based on your score. So I really hope that's been helpful. I really hope that that has helped you with your lead generation. We're going to continue the theme over the next 2 or 3 weeks as well, and at least that time. And I say next week, we're going to look at sales conversion processes with Mike Killen. Really excited about that. Mike's a great guy. I know you're going to get lots of information from that. But in the meantime, stay safe. And remember, if you want to reach out to me, it's adrian.peck@peckuk.com. Please keep all your questions and comments coming. I'm really enjoying the feedback you're giving me. And remember, better never stops. I'm Adrian Peck. Thank you very much.